1,000 years in the dark? What if I told you that a period in history, often called the Dark Ages, wasn't so dark after all? What if this era, far from being a time of utter collapse, was actually a period of transformation, innovation, and resilience? It's time to shed some light on a fascinating chapter of our past and see the Middle Ages for what they truly were. A complex tapestry of challenges and triumphs that laid the foundation for the world we know today. Turning the page on the past. The term Dark Ages typically refers to the period in European history from the fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 CE to around 1000 CE. It's a label that's been debated by historians for centuries. Some argue that it unfairly paints a picture of decline and stagnation. They point to evidence of cultural, intellectual, and even economic progress during this time. The fall of Rome, not the end of the world. The collapse of the Roman Empire was undoubtedly a momentous event. It brought about significant changes in Europe. Cities shrank, trade declined, and political power became fragmented. Waves of invasions by groups like the Goths, Vandals, and Huns added to the instability. However, it's crucial to remember that the fall of Rome didn't erase everything that came before it. Islands of knowledge in a sea of change. Amidst the upheaval, knowledge and learning found refuge in monasteries. These religious communities became centers of literacy and scholarship. Monks meticulously copied ancient texts, preserving classical knowledge that might have otherwise been lost. In a world where wars and invasions were common, these monasteries stood as sanctuaries of intellectual pursuit. The monks, with their unwavering dedication, spent countless hours in dimly lit scriptoriums, painstakingly transcribing works of philosophy, science, and literature. Their efforts ensured that the wisdom of ancient civilizations, from the Greeks to the Romans, was not only preserved, but also passed down through generations. They also made important advances in fields like medicine, astronomy, and mathematics. Think of these monks as the guardians of knowledge, keeping the flame of learning alive during a turbulent era. Their contributions to medicine included the study of herbal remedies and the development of early surgical techniques. In astronomy, they charted the stars and developed calendars that were more accurate than those used before. Mathematics saw advancements through their work on geometry and the introduction of new numerical systems. These monks were not just passive preservers of knowledge, they were active contributors, pushing the boundaries of what was known and exploring new frontiers of understanding. They were the bridge between the ancient world and the Middle Ages, ensuring that the wisdom of the past would not be forgotten. Their role was crucial in the transition from the ancient to the medieval world. By preserving and expanding upon the knowledge of earlier civilizations, they laid the groundwork for the Renaissance and the eventual rise of modern science and thought. The legacy of these monastic scholars is a testament to the enduring power of knowledge and the human spirit's relentless quest for understanding. In a time of great change, they were the islands of stability, ensuring that the light of learning continued to shine brightly. Charlamagne, a king who loved to learn. The Carolingian Renaissance, which took place under the rule of Charlemagne in the 8th and 9th centuries, was a bright spot in the so-called Dark Ages. Charlemagne, crowned Holy Roman Emperor in 800 CE, was a fervent supporter of education and culture. He established schools, attracted scholars to his court, and promoted the copying of manuscripts. Charlemagne's reign was a time of great interest in learning and the arts. It was a test of the desire to understand the world. The written word more than just scribbles. During this period, we see the development of new writing styles like Carolingian minuscule. This clear and legible script made it easier to copy and disseminate texts, contributing to the spread of knowledge. Imagine a time when books were rare and precious, copied by hand by dedicated scribes. Each book was a work of art and a testament to the importance of preserving knowledge. A Renaissance before the Renaissance. The Carolingian Renaissance, while short-lived, had a lasting impact. It laid the groundwork for later cultural revivals and demonstrated that even in times of upheaval, the human spirit could still strive for knowledge and progress. Charlemagne's legacy lived on, inspiring future generations to embrace learning and the arts. It was a beacon of light, illuminating the path toward a brighter future. From fields to feast food and farming. While intellectual life flickered in monasteries, important changes were happening in agriculture. New technologies, like the heavy plow and the three-field crop rotation system, led to increased food production. This in turn supported a growing population and laid the foundation for economic recovery. Imagine vast fields being plowed by teams of oxen, the rich soil turned over to prepare for the next harvest. The three-field crop rotation system, a revolutionary innovation, ensured that the land remained fertile, capable of producing abundant crops year after year. The rise of towns and the return of trade. As agricultural productivity increased, so did trade. The innovations in farming techniques, such as the three-field system and the heavy plow, led to surplus crops. This surplus allowed farmers to trade their excess produce for goods they could not produce themselves, fostering a vibrant market economy. Towns and cities, which had declined after the fall of Rome, began to re-emerge as centers of commerce. These urban centers became bustling hubs where merchants, artisans, and traders gathered. The revival of these towns was not just a return to old ways, but a transformation into dynamic centers of economic activity. New trade routes opened up, connecting Europe to the Byzantine Empire and the Islamic world. These routes were not just over land, but also across the seas, with ships carrying goods from one port to another. The Mediterranean Sea, in particular, became a crucial artery for trade, linking different civilizations and facilitating the exchange of goods and ideas. This exchange of goods and ideas brought new wealth and cultural influences to Europe. The influx of wealth from trade allowed for the patronage of the arts and the construction of grand cathedrals and public buildings. Cultural influences from the Byzantine and Islamic worlds introduced new knowledge, including advancements in science, medicine, and philosophy. Picture bustling marketplaces filled with merchants hawking their wares, silks from the east, spices from distant lands, and finely crafted goods from local artisans. These markets were not just places of commerce, but also social hubs where people from different backgrounds and cultures interacted, exchanged stories, and built relationships. This resurgence of trade breathed new life into the economy, connecting people and cultures across vast distances. The economic revival led to the growth of a new middle class, composed of merchants and artisans, who played a crucial role in the development of towns and cities. The interconnectedness of trade networks also meant that ideas and innovations could spread more rapidly, leading to a more dynamic and progressive society. Building the future, one stone at a time. The Dark Ages also witnessed the development of new architectural styles like the Romanesque and later the Gothic. These styles, characterized by their grandeur and technical innovation, are a testament to the creativity and skill of medieval artisans and builders. Imagine soaring cathedrals, their stained glass windows casting colorful patterns on the ground below. These magnificent structures, built with the ingenuity of medieval architects and the sweat of countless laborers, stand as enduring symbols of the era's artistic achievements. A bridge between worlds. This phrase evokes images of connection, transition, and transformation. It symbolizes the link between two distinct eras, each with its own unique characteristics and contributions to human history. The period from the 5th to the 10th centuries was not a time of darkness, but a period of profound transformation. Often misunderstood and misrepresented, this era was a crucible of change, where the remnants of the Roman Empire gave way to new forms of governance, culture, and society. It was a time when the seeds of modern Europe were being planted, even if the fruits of these efforts would not be seen for centuries. While it presented challenges, it also saw remarkable resilience, innovation, and the preservation of knowledge. Monasteries became centers of learning, where ancient texts were copied and studied, ensuring that the wisdom of the past was not lost. Innovations in agriculture, such as the heavy plow and three-field system, revolutionized food production and supported population growth. These advancements laid the foundation for future prosperity. It was a bridge between the ancient world and the Middle Ages, a time that laid the groundwork for the cultural, intellectual, and economic flourishing of the High Middle Ages and beyond. The fusion of Roman, Christian, and Germanic traditions created a unique cultural tapestry that would define Europe for centuries. This period saw the rise of feudalism, the spread of Christianity, and the establishment of kingdoms that would become the nations we recognize today. It's time we see this era for what it truly was: a time of change, adaptation, and the seeds of a new world being sown. The challenges faced by the people of this time were immense, but their responses were equally impressive. They adapted to new political realities, embraced new technologies, and preserved the knowledge that would one day fuel the Renaissance. By understanding this period as a bridge between worlds, we can appreciate the resilience and ingenuity of those who lived through it and recognize the profound impact they had on shaping the world we live in today.